This meeting is being recorded.
What is happening, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another episode cuatro. Whew. I'm here. I'm in there like swimwear. I'm ready. Jim's ready. We got a wet dream going on right now. We got a St. Louis Cardinal and an Atlanta Brave in the building. We got Cade. We got Jason. The Chicago Bears won a fucking football game, so I'm ecstatic and I'm ready. I've been saving the city all weekend, and Tyson Bagent is putting the Chicago Bears on his back. Fellas, let's get into it. Buckle up. Put your lights on. If you're driving at night, don't drink and drive. Let's get into this episode. Let's talk about it. We're sitting here with two dogs, absolute monsters. Cade, Jason, how we feeling today?
Doing good.
Yeah, doing well.
Man, you know what? And if y'all knew what it took to start this episode, man, I'm just so happy to hear Jason's voice. I'm just so happy to hear Jason's voice. Jason, let me hear how you're doing one more time.
I'm doing good. Audio
works.
Mike,
we're in a good spot.
Is it a little depressing that we don't have Legos to start this episode? You know, our last guest just happened to have Legos in the background, and Mike just really needed to see them up close in front of the camera. And now I've thought about building them all week.
I never had Legos. I've never played with Legos in my life, so I've only heard stories about mythical Legos. You know what I mean? So I thought they were pretty cool, man. We couldn't afford Legos.
He had like a space station, bro. He had that like big giant.
Dude, he had a nice little setup. I might fuck around and find out. Give me a little Lego set maybe one day next week. I'm excited. But boys, Jim made me want to ask this question. We've been doing it for a while, but for whatever reason, Jim feels like I have ties to the Philadelphia Phillies. But we got a game 7. It looks like on the rise. I mean, the Phillies look like. I mean, Jim, is it over? Is it officially over right now, or are we still in the ninth or something?
No, it's over.
It's over? Yeah, I figured it was over. Okay, well, the Phillies are shit in the bed doing what the Phillies do. But I have to ask this question to both of you guys because we've had ongoing answers. Every one of our guests so far have basically, I think, Jim, except for week 1, I think we had a couple Braves in there.
Yeah, but I believe Braves were out by the next time.
Right. So I think ever since then, we've just had Phillies all the way. Guys, talk to me a little bit about who you guys got going all the way. Who do you guys got winning this Game 7 matchup between the D-backs and obviously the Phillies? Take me through it. Cade, we want to start with you.
I think it's hard to lose there. So I have the Phillies winning Game 7, especially Game 7 in Philly. I feel like that's really, really hard to not win, or the city might burn to the ground. But I think both the Texas teams might give them a run for their money because they don't get home field advantage, especially against the Astros. So I think they're good in the CS. I don't know how they're going to do in the World Series.
Jason, how we feeling, man? Phillies Nation?
Yeah. I'm a Yankees fan, actually.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's been a brutal year. But yeah, probably the Phillies. I mean, honestly, I don't want to see the Astros win it again. Like I'd love to see Rangers versus Phillies, and at that point I'd be okay with it.
If I'm dropping my money, it's the Astros are going to win it again.
Right. But I want to pose this question to both of you guys now. Are these two Game 7s going to be more exciting than what the World Series is going to be potentially?
Yes.
I think it could be depending on the matchup. If we get Phillies Rangers, that's a lot of offense, and I think it could be pretty interesting. But yeah, it might be.
Mike, you run the numbers when it comes to, you know, the money and the fans. You know that the MLB is sitting there praying that it's not the Diamondbacks because they are not the draw the Phillies are.
I mean,
think about it. You're gonna lose your boy Schwarbaum and Bryce Harper. Like those are names you don't want to lose.
Yeah, for sure. But I really, I think West Side at the end of the day is going to prevail, and in the West Coast, definitely does show out. That's my only take on it. I mean, if this was the Padres or this was the Giants or something, I'd have a different answer for you. Or even I was gonna say Anaheim, but I'm not even gonna do that.
They'll never be there ever.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna lie publicly to people about that. But I don't know what the draw is with the Diamondbacks. In my lifetime, I haven't seen them enough in the postseason. So I think they could have a good market, but Philly dancing on my own, Schwarber, Harper. I mean, it's just a little.
Okay, let me ask you this question first. This is Mike's segment, but I gotta know. Me and Daniel were having this discussion on our show. If Bryce goes and gets this World Series and Trout can't even get to the playoffs, everybody's always said Trout's better than Bryce Harper, but we know the value of winning championships and like I said, even making postseason regular. Like, does that put him above Trout, Cade?
I mean, I was a Nationals fan, so I was a Harper fan right when he got drafted. So I don't know, a couple MVPs, World Series. If Trout does get a trade to a contender and wins, then we're gonna have a really, really fun conversation. But I think sustained victories in the playoffs from Harper probably over the next 3, 4, 5 years, probably gonna be a big separator.
I mean, Jason, that if Trout does everything right and puts all the numbers up, but never can even make the playoffs, like he can't be considered in front of other guys, right? Like, it's one thing to not win a World Series, but it's another thing when you can't make the postseason.
I don't know. Baseball is one of those sports where it's kind of like you can't really carry a team. You know what I mean? It's not like the NBA or something like that where, you know, LeBron can just storm down the court, drop 40 on you, and that's
Exactly.
that's the game. You know, so it's a little bit different, I think. But I think if Trout sticks in Anaheim at the end of the career, we could probably look at it and say Harper's going to be better because I mean Harper's going to be in Philly. They're going to be a contender for at least a couple more years. You know, who knows if he goes anywhere else after that. But I think if we look at it in a couple years, I'd say Harper. But I think right now Trout still has the edge until Harper wins a little bit more and Trout has more of those, you know, kind of ugly years, especially with the back problems creeping up on him too.
Now, what would it mean for you, and what are you willing to give up to get Mike Trout in a New York Yankees jersey?
I mean, you might as well just unload the farm, to be honest. I mean, the Yankees refuse to unload the farm, so that's tough. But
So how does it work, Jason? Do you root for the Yankees up until the point in where you would make the show? Because if you become a Cardinal, like, you can't root for them, right? Like,
yeah, no, I don't think so. I mean, I think it's like until I'm like on the cusp, you know, I'll stay true to the Yankees. But I mean, I'm definitely following Cardinals stuff nowadays a lot more than I did. And I'm sure at some point that'll kind of overtake.
All I know is I have a good feeling in my heart right now that if the money line is on the Yankees and I got my guy Jason on the bump playing against St. Louis, I might have to go with the Yankees. I think I know where Jason's heart is. That's all I'm saying. I think he'll do well enough to get his stats out there, but I don't think he's gonna go out there throwing no hitters against his favorite team. I wouldn't personally. But no,
you're gonna take a dive against the Yankees, huh?
I would 100% take a dive against. If it was me playing against the Chicago Cubs, I mean, you know what? I'll hit a home run, maybe fuck around, get a couple steals, but striking out at the end of the game. We'll win. We'll lose 2-1. That's how I see it, Jim. I think that's how you should see it too. But we got to keep going. Jim's got more important things to do at 8:30. He said he doesn't want to spend his night with me. It's crazy. But Cade, man, I want to talk to you, man. Let's really get into ATL. Let's talk about what happened. I mean, a phenomenal year. And so many people, you know, talking about the year they won a championship versus this season and which roster is better and which roster is more improved. And there's arguments that the 2023 Atlanta Braves, I mean, they were probably one of those teams. I mean, Morgan Wallen's probably going to be writing a song about them sometime very soon. You know, we went from 98 to 23. Talk to me a little bit about them getting eliminated and kind of what went through your mind watching that kind of happen.
I think that week off, the bats kind of, you know, cooled off. They're hot at the end of the year, like a couple big wins, especially against your Cubs, you know, kind of watched them walk them off a couple times. But they kind of run into a buzzsaw and Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola and all of that. And I mean, those guys, I mean, Zach Wheeler is the best pitcher in the playoffs left right now, and he's pretty unbelievable. So facing him twice is pretty improbable to win. And I think they kind of just ran into a tough task, and bats weren't doing what they needed to do. I think the staff threw decent, other than I think it was game 3 where they got 10 put up on them. But
yeah,
not fun to watch go down.
Yeah,
think
for
about
sure.
this because of what he just said about Zach Wheeler. Mike, think about what would have happened if on that Mets squad, if Thor could have stayed, you know, Syndergaard could have stayed healthy, and Zach Wheeler was what he was now. Because think about it, along with DeGrom, it would have been so nasty.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that got to stay healthy in that conversation, though. All three of those guys spend a lot of time in the emergency room. That's just what
I
it
know,
is.
but I'm just thinking about them three when they are healthy and at their best would have been as
Oh
filthy as
yeah,
it gets.
it would have been. I mean, man, the Mets are just horrible. But Cade, I heard you. I just want you to know we swept y'all in July. Don't do that. Don't do that. We had our time with the Braves this year. We had a great time. It was just a horrible ending to it. What a great season it was. But man, Jason, I want to talk to you a little bit about a former Cardinal, somebody who was so impactful in Jim Cross's life and then was just swept right out from the rug under him. Talk about Jack Flaherty and the Baltimore Orioles. Hey, they got a few Cubs guys over there too, but Gunnar Henderson, talking about Adley Rutschman and all these other guys over there. Talk about how cool it was. I know you're a Yankees fan. But how cool it was to kind of see a team that really just from the ground up created this roster and just built it the way they did and the success that they had this year.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. Been following along. Obviously, right now I'm in the Maryland area. I was actually able to catch a Orioles versus Cardinals game. Adam Wainwright's 199th win.
That's tough.
Caught that at Camden Yards, which is pretty cool. But seeing them in the division and stuff like that, it's been pretty cool just because of how bad they really were for so many years. I mean, of course, when you stack that many picks up year after year, you probably shouldn't be missing too much.
Anaheim.
Did your girl get a ball? Did she catch a home run ball?
Nah, Tyler O'Neill threw her a ball.
Oh, that's even better. Tyler O'Neill's my guy. That's kind of one of my man crushes, bro. He's a beast.
Yeah, no, they were playing catch in the outfield, and then end of the inning.
Were you a little nervous? I mean, Tyler O'Neill playing catch with your girl, it's intimidating.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was going to steal my girl right there on the spot, to be honest, but thankfully he's married with a kid, so I think we're safe.
Wouldn't stop me. I don't know. Personally, but I'm a demon. But man, like talking about that Adam Wainwright game though, I got a question because I'm ignorant. I'm very ignorant. As a Cubs fan, I'm ignorant. I saw that man at the end of the season, guitar in hand, whole stadium. Like, what was the significance of that, Jim? I need to know from a Cardinals fan's perspective, like how, because to me, I looked at that and I was like, part of my language, viewers. I looked at that and I was like, why the fuck is Adam Wainwright just singing in the stage right now? But is there story to that? Is there a background to that I'm not aware of?
I mean, I don't know why specifically in there. I mean, he does play the guitar and sing, and that's part of his thing. But I assume because he's legendary and can just kind of do what he wants on the way out the door. And the Cardinals, as you have pointed out, were 20 games back. Why not? Might be the most entertaining thing you see. Yeah, down the stretch might be the most entertaining thing you see. But I will tell you this. I did like seeing him call games. I mean, that man was especially talking about pitchers and all the different things. Like he had to correct them on, what they were calling pitches as they were calling pitches wrong across the plate.
100%. Jim, we got one more and I'm going to throw it to you. We did talk about it a little earlier. Yadier Molina, bench coach. Catcher's coach, what do we got going on right now, man? Are you excited about this? I mean, this is big for you, man. This is an icon coming back into the building.
I think it's exciting for everybody but you. I think Cade and Jason would even agree the idea of a legendary Yadier Molina going in there. And we had guest Ed Easley, who was his backup catcher in the Cardinals, also played for the Pirates, and now runs the biggest travel ball organization in the whole Mid-South area. He said he learned more in the 2 years he backed up Yachty than he did in his entire career from top to bottom. And so if a guy says that's the kind of guy I want to learn from as a coach.
Yeah, I mean, and especially the key word there, not being the manager of the team. I mean, Cubs take notes. David Ross was just handed a job after going on Dancing with the Stars and showing the world he couldn't dance. But that's a whole conversation for a different day. I'm going to let Jim take over while I sit in my Cubs woes because Cade just threw some Atlanta Brave shots at me that I haven't recovered from.
All right, so Cade, man, let's recap Campbell. Mike, one of the biggest blessings I did was interview Cade. I love Campbell's fans, dude. They are awesome on Twitter, amazing accounts. Their loyalty to not just their baseball players, but all the athletes across the board, and they're all fun. And so, man, he gave me the shirt. Everybody wants this shirt. They can't get it. I got it special for my guy. Even got my floppy hat you made fun of. I'm gonna wear it when I cut grass at night after this show.
That's fucking stupid. And so is cutting grass at night. It's all
I've
dumb.
never actually done it. I just said people do it. But, recapping Campbell, Cade, is the committee still making excuses on why y'all didn't get to host in the regionals?
I don't really know. We kind of just use that as like ammunition. Not hosting at your home field definitely hurts your case. I think hosting at a minor league park, but I think everybody that looked at it being the only RPI top 16 team to not host, kind of story writes itself there.
Do you think having that home environment, obviously we don't know who stacks up there, but do you think, especially, with what y'all are known for there at the Hump, y'all got such a dedicated fan base, like I was just talking about, do you think it would have helped change matters?
Oh, no doubt. Rolling into an unfamiliar environment for anybody is definitely hard to do. And playing in an environment like Campbell, it's so different. Like we went to South Carolina with 10,000 seats and you roll into Campbell with 1,200 in the middle of nowhere and you have no clue where you are or what's going on. Like that creates a little bit of chaos. And that definitely plays in our favor.
Yeah, no doubt. For you, Jason, man, I gotta ask you. I went to the couch in Winston-Salem, and y'all got put with the hottest team, the best team at the time, with Wake Forest. I was in Omaha just to verify how good they were also later in the season. So for you, playing against them, just how damn good were they?
Yeah, we just ran into a train. They had talent up and down the board. Their lineup was stacked. Rhett Lauder, according to their coaches, pitched the best game he had all year against us. Nick LaRusso was able to tag him twice, but other than that, we really didn't do anything. He was tremendous. He's rolling 95-mile-an-hour comeback sinkers on righties, dropping a changeup below the zone at 89 that's diving off the face of the planet. And then you got like Brock Wilken in the 3-hole just mashing the ball up the middle faster than I've ever seen a ball hit. So, it is what it is. We kind of just ran into a train there, got put in a bad spot, but
I'll ask you a prediction on that note. We had Brock on the first episode of Pros and Joes, and he actually predicts his teammate Nick Kurtz to break his ACC home run record. You going with Brock or you going with Nick? Without even me giving you the numbers, it's going to take a lot. It ain't going to be something that's easy.
Yeah, the only thing I have with Brock versus Nick is Nick walks a ton, and Brock walks, but not as much as Nick does.
I remember when we did his show, his OBP was like almost 600.
Yeah, he sees the ball very well. Let's just say that. We had a guy on the mound, Nick Dean, who throws a really good changeup. He was throwing really quality changeups that he was just spitting right on, just like it was nothing. So, he definitely has a good eye. I think that will almost hurt the home run numbers in a way.
Well, that and you don't have, Brock's advantage was he had Kurtz, behind him, right? So you couldn't duck him. They're not going to, Nick's not going to have that. Obviously, Seaver King's the guy who would be batting in front of him, not behind him. So it's going to be up to whoever's behind him to give him protection. If they can't do it, like you just said, he's just going to walk every time anyway. But it'll be interesting to see. It's cool that his own teammate, is picking him to break his record. Cade, I got a question. Speaking of teammates, we got Chance on IOTV later. What do you expect from him? This guy who had a 9-1 record this past season. What do you expect from him this next year at Campbell?
I think just being kind of a veteran presence, going through the fire once and playing a huge role. Pretty much one of the big reasons we were there. So kind of anchoring that staff and just being a consistent piece to go out on Fridays or Saturdays, wherever he's going to go, and just give him a shot every week like we did last year and just kind of continue that consistency that he brought for us.
Does his power come from his hair flow? Because I noticed my man's got some good hair flow out the back of that hat.
I think it does. He likes that. He got a little mullet going. So,
all right. So let's get into the draft. Jason, we'll start with you, man. Talk to me about it. Where were you at? Who were you with? And what were the emotions like when you did get drafted?
Yeah, I was back home, surrounded by a bunch of family and friends. It was really, really cool day. I kind of expected to go a little earlier in the day, so it got a little stressful there for a little while. But overall, it was just an awesome day. I'll never forget that, especially being around, all my friends and family that I'm really close with, and people in the neighborhood and stuff like that have shown a lot of love to me throughout my career. So, it was definitely an awesome day. And and I'll absolutely never forget.
Yeah, no doubt. The question I'd have that we've had from the first 6 guests, minus Paul Skeens, who obviously knew where he was going. The guys saying they had multiple phone calls saying you could go here, here, and here. Did you have that in regards to yours, to where it kind of left you on pins and needles, that it may be 2 or 3 different teams in that round that may take you?
Yeah, yeah. So actually, I declined an offer that was earlier in the round because it was less money than I was going to get from the Cardinals, and then there's some other teams in the mix too that had kind of been in the mix the whole time, like pretty much from like the third round on. There was a lot of talk of like, hey, we might pick you here. Hey, we might pick you here, and then it just kind of just backed up and never really happened until the 6th round. And that's where it was more focused, where it was like, all right, we're definitely picking you here for this amount of money, and kind of had to choose between a few. So
Jason, now that that's over, now that I'm just saying it doesn't really matter. Who are the other teams that are kind of hitting your line, saying, hey, maybe for the one time, maybe we'll see what happens. Now, can we kind of expose a couple people now so that fans can look back on this 10 years from now when you're a bona fide stud, talk about, man, we could have had him.
Yeah, the Twins were actually the team that lowballed me a little earlier in the 6th.
See ya.
They actually ended up taking a kid from Penn State that I played against, Jay Harry, pretty solid player. But yeah, they kind of lowballed me a little bit. So
yeah, I mean, you don't want to be there anyways. You know what I mean? You know why they lowballed you, right? You know why they lowballed you? That titanium leg and Correa's leg, man. They just had to get that right, man. They had to make sure they got a few bucks on the hash so they can dump them in a couple years.
Well, Mike, I'm glad we got Dr. Savacool, because, man, what did I tell you when – see, the thing about the Skeens and Floyd episode, as a Cardinals fan, they go to the Pirates and the Reds, and I'm like, I'm watching the first few rounds of the draft go by, and I'm watching all these studs that I watched in college pitch just go by off the table. The Cardinals ain't getting none of them. And I'm like, hey, do you want to get one of these pitchers that I know can help? And they clearly didn't, and they had to wait till they got Jason. So luckily we got somebody, because, I'm telling you, I feel like the NL Central got more of them than anybody that I knew. And I was like,
yeah. And I mean, really, to be honest with you, not even talking about those teams, but the Reds are on the rise. We know the Reds are on the rise with their pitching rotation. The Cubs have their solidified guys in AAA and in the bigs right now, and the Brewers somehow just figure it out with just a bunch of random guys every single. It doesn't make any sense. But they just like, you go to Milwaukee and it's just like, hey, I'm just gonna rejuvenate my career. Doesn't make sense. But I mean, the whole NL Central, I feel like within the next 2-3 years, from a pitching perspective, I think that's going to be some of the best pitchers in the entire National League.
yeah, and obviously I'm gonna wait till you get into it with Cade, but Atlanta made a run at pitchers, obviously. But let's talk about
Atlanta. Jim is crapped out of its mind. That's what Atlanta is. I mean, golly.
Can my man talk about his draft day before you just crap on Atlanta?
I'm not crapping. That was a Cade. I hope you took that positively, bro. I'm just saying every position from top single A, double A, rookie ball, fucking Arizona, don't matter, dog. Like they're crap, dog, and it doesn't.
Anyways,
except in July.
So okay. Same question I asked Jason, man. For you, who were you with? Where were you at? What were those emotions like, man, getting drafted? Every kid's dream.
I was at home. My best friends from high school, there's a group of 6 of us. They had either driven or flown home to be with me that night. So I was super grateful for that, and a couple extended family members. Turned from the most stressful night in my life to the best night in my life. Definitely had to, drag it out until the last pick of the night. Sum up all the drama. Got like a couple calls earlier in the night, so excitement went up and then it went down. Got a call that I was going to go the next day, and then so I was like, all right, I kind of checked out. And then while the Giants were taking pick 69, I got a call. He's like, sit tight, you're going next. So I had 2 minutes before my name was actually called to sit there, and I didn't tell anybody. I kind of walked up to the table and kind of just let it happen. So that was a fun moment.
Yeah, man. I imagine the stress. Obviously, like you said, the last pick of the night. Definitely some stress going on there. Same question I asked Jason. I'm not going to ask you to expose anybody like you might, but I mean, did you have a few other teams that might have reached out to you? There's a possibility you might go sooner?
Talk your talk, Cade. I want to hear it.
I know at 51 the White Sox called and they said they had time with me, and they picked Grant Taylor.
LSU,
I mean,
baby.
he's a stud of a human being. Love Grant Taylor, and I don't know who the other one was.
No.
He's between the three of us, but other than that, that was it. And I got to
Well,
call
Mike,
it.
I will tell you why the Grant Taylor pick is risky against the Cade pick. Grant has all that talent, but he's coming off Tommy John.
Oh, ha. Oh, nah, but yeah, I'm just a hater at heart. That's what it is. You know what I mean? It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
He's a stud. I'm sure you're gonna have to deal with him for a long time in Chicago, and it's just not.
I'm sure I won't. I'm sure I won't. You know why? You want to know why? Because the beauty of it is can't put runs on the board. That man can throw a no-hitter all day. It's still 0-0, baby. At the end of the day, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna be just fine. But Cade, I want to ask you something really quick before Jim continues, though. Having that conversation about where you're landing right now, really breaking that down and saying, man, we got support over here. This ain't the White Sox. This ain't the White Sox, bro. It's Luis Robert, and that's it over there. That's being real. When you're looking at the offense that you have the potential to be playing alongside with, how exciting is that to really just sit in that and say, man, Matt Olson, Ronald Acuna Jr., and all these dogs on one team.
How do you not mention two-time IOTB guest Austin Riley?
You know what, man? Because he don't respond to my DMs. I'll be like, hey, man.
Because I
super
told him he's a
proud.
crackhead.
Super proud, man. Listen, man. I'm just asking the important question.
It's definitely super comforting. You can go out there and compete. You make a mistake and you pay for it. Well, they're going to pay for it the next inning, and they're going to pick you right back up. You're never out of the game. It felt like how it was at Campbell. Like I feel like I made a mistake and I was never out of the game. I remember I recorded a win in a game where I gave up 8 runs. I mean, that's just absurd. Win's a stupid stat, and I shouldn't have gotten it. But it's like you go down 8 runs, and next thing you know, you're in the win column for the day. I feel like that's how it be.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we talked about that. Me and Jim talked about that all season long with Randy and DB and just everybody. And I was like, man, it was what, September? The Cubs played the Braves, and we were up like 6-0. And I'm like, man, bro, like if we just needed that one win, and Miami would miss the playoffs. And I was like, we're fucking here. We're here. We're not gonna lose it. We lost. But and it was the 9th. It was like the 9th, and they won 7-6, and it was 6-0 comeback. Like. They are never out of it, man. And in baseball, that's so rare. That is so rare because I feel like you have that conversation all the time where it's like, yeah, man, they just don't have it. They either don't have the bullpen to keep that same tally going, or they don't have the bats to be able to climb that much. And Atlanta on all cylinders, like I said earlier, just not to give them too much praise because they already got enough of it. But I mean, man, they're absolutely cracked.
All right, so I'll let you get into all things MiLB after I do one more thing, Cade, man. Something that me and you talked about on your previous episode. I had watched the video. Me and you are big advocates for mental health. Are you currently doing anything to be able to help continue like you were able to do with your platform at Campbell? With the mental health and athletes, or is it something, man, me and you we need to get together, get something going for nationwide for athletes? I'll do it, man. I'll go to the forefront with you.
I'm down to get something together. I know we have a great program here, so kind of just using the resources we have here for myself. But no, I mean, I'm good for anything that we can help spread the message and spread the word.
Yeah, I think it's just becoming more and more active now. Doesn't matter what sport we're talking about, just the things that come with it. And, we're in a day and age where social media, if you get on it, you're getting tore apart because you had one bad game and you got the pressures of pitching in stadiums with 10,000+ people as a college student, or if you're a football player, God bless the kicker. If he misses a kick in front of 100,000, he's getting his life threatened and told to commit suicide. Like, I mean, it's everything that comes with being a college athlete, on top of the fact you got to take care of your academics, right? I mean, not to discredit, make y'all sound like, young, but y'all, when 18, 19, 20-year-old kids, right? Like, I mean, you still haven't got out in the world. And so it's a really cruel world that we have where, people take for granted y'all's talents and what y'all are doing and coming out there and trying your best and just want to kind of crap on y'all. And it's just a lot of pressure. And like I said, we're not just talking about college. Obviously, we've had Olympians, just talk about it when you're competing in the red, white, and blue. And so mental health is just such a big deal. And I know from a military standpoint, me and all my boys, a lot of us have trouble. I still do therapy to keep me from going off the edge. And so mental health is just something nationwide that, while it is getting more and more attention, it's still not enough. And so, man, yeah, I'm down to do whatever to help you because, man, your story, your video, Mike, Jason, anybody who's listening, if you haven't seen it yet, we're obviously going to plug Cade's IG later, but man, go check out his video. Him just being vulnerable, him being real, just talking about mental health. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, man. But I do want to say, if you haven't checked out that video already, definitely give it some love because I got a chance to check it out. And, it's something that's so much deeper, no matter where you come from. You can come from Chicago like me, where, there's more stories than I got fucking fingers, on things I've experienced. Or you could come from a small town. And it's at the end of the day, man, everybody's got their own story, got your own demons. Definitely seek help if you haven't already. But, if you want to listen to Cade and you want to listen to Jim and anybody else who can help guide you into that right direction, definitely hit it. But, a direction that I didn't see coming, me personally. Cade, I'm so into minor league baseball. Jim calls me a psychopath all the time. I have my own mental health issues on how deep I am into the minor league baseball world. And it's kind of addicting at this point. But you know what? It's better than Jim calling me a crackhead. But it's I digress. I'll let it slide.
You called me a
But
steroid freak and 45
no,
last week.
No, that's what your Twitter handle says. Actually,
No, that was my guys. We talk about the mental health. I found out that some dude had created a fake profile of me. I believe he's an Ole Miss fan. I'm told he might be a Mississippi State fan, but here he was attacking college athletes. And some people, aren't smart enough to click and see that it ain't me. So you got like 40 followers and it's not really me. But yeah, it was, man.
I followed it.
I found out when he went after Peyton Chotinier and told him that he was trash, and that's why Ole Miss didn't want him no more. And Garrett Wood, the Ole Miss's ex-captain who's now coaching Alabama, messaged me and said, "Hey, some dude's out here slandering Chotinier in your name." And then so I sent it to Mike and the boys, and he said I was on steroids and I was 45 years old. And I was like, dang, man, it's bad enough he's taking over these athletes. I'm not on steroids and I'm only 39. Damn.
I was like, damn, he's only 44. That's crazy. And I don't even know how they knew about the steroid part. We keep that locked up on and off the bench. But that's an off the bench after dark. That's a whole different show. But man, talking about it, what really blew my mind, the first 3 rounds, the Atlanta Braves go pitchers for all of them. I mean, absolutely phenomenal to see them doing what they're doing right now, trying to build that up. The bats are going to come. I mean, we know they got the pitching staff. We know they got everything right now, but they're trying to build that consistently. So take me through for you, not only understanding how serious they're taking it from that standpoint of we're not just satisfied with the team we have right now. We're trying to build something for years to come, sustain that longevity of it. What was that like in the competition aspect of saying, hey, man, I got a bunch of other studs on this team coming on the rise too. So how was that for you kind of taking that all in and just being able to contribute to this Braves organization?
I mean, it's a lot of fun seeing Waldrop throw in AAA this year. I mean, dude threw in the College World Series, and next thing you know, he's still in a AAA game. Hot, like everybody talking about him going on a playoff roster and a playoff run. So that's super cool. Hackenberg, the pick before me, him and I are super close and he was my throwing partner, my pen partner. So like him and I kind of have a hidden competition. Like we never talk about it, but I mean, I know it's there. I don't know if he does. I might go over there and ask him here in a little bit. But like just being surrounded by so much talent, and then putting so much time and energy into us as a staff and making sure the arms for years to come are loaded, and then being in instructs the top talent and all the top guys and learning and talking to them. I mean, it's just a lot of fun, and it's going to breed the best out of all of us.
For sure. Now, I want to talk to you about your single A stint because, man, I'm reading the stats, I'm looking through it, and I'm just geeking. I'm not one of those money ball guys. I don't look at the stats no one cares about, but I'm seeing 7 innings pitched, 8 Ks. I mean, talk to me a little bit about what that was like for you, sitting there and saying, hey, listen, man, like I'm trying to show out right off the bat, but you're not trying to do too much at the same time, kind of just playing your game to the best of your ability while also trying to, fight for a spot on this team and showing them that they made the right pick. What was that like for you?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, first outing, being able to go and be a part of a combined no-hitter. It's pretty unreal for me. I remember I was lifting and our strength coach like slapped me. He's like, look. I'm like, what? He goes, look, and he points to the 0. I'm like, oh God, like I could get back outside. But like throwing Hackenberg through the day before me, and he went out and his numbers were just gaudy. I mean, I think he was 5 2/3 with 12 Ks. So like seeing that guy go out there and just absolutely dominate, it's like, damn, I got to go out here and I got to follow that up. And then working on pitches and stuff that they had me working on in camp. Just a lot of fun, kind of get the feet wet. understand how it's going to work. I mean, it was only 2 weeks, but kind of getting a feel for next year what I'm going to go through. It's a lot of fun, and I think it prepared me really well.
For sure. And I want to ask this question because I've been a center fielder my whole life, been in the outfield my whole life. I always wanted to know from, especially in a rotational setting, kind of having that conversation, whether that's bullpen, whether that's in the starting rotation, are you really paying attention to what the other guys are doing? Like, I always think, like, when you look at the big names, when we're looking at, for the Cubs, you got Jordan Wicks, Justin Steele, Marcus Stroman, whoever, it doesn't matter. Are those guys paying attention to each other's stats? Are they trying to one up each other every single day? Or is that kind of just like, hey, man, I'm just playing my game. I really could care less what the rest of this rotation's doing?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you got to do what you got to do to help the team win. But at the end of the day, like, everybody kind of wants to be the best. So, if like somebody goes out and has a great start, you're like, that's awesome. We won. Like, I want to have a great start. Like Hackberg go out and have a great start. And like, damn, like, I want to do that. Like, that dude just shoved. I want to go do that. And I don't think it's trying to one up him, but trying to just like feel like you're contributing your weight.
For sure, for sure. And then we talked to Paul Skeens, which I think was my favorite response to this, literally going from a championship level atmosphere to single A baseball, rookie ball, fall ball. I mean, talk to me about going from Campbell all the way to single A. Break that down, like the atmosphere, the vibe. Obviously, I covered the Iowa Cubs, the AAA Cubs, for quite some time in Des Moines, Iowa. Cade, bro, I'm from the heart and soul of the Windy City. I'd never in my life want to go to Iowa ever again. But you know what though? Like, to their point, they had a blast. They had a great time. So take me through, what was that like for you? You're all the way up here, and then it's like, okay, now we're back at it. You get a nice little crowd, but it's nothing to what you're used to.
I mean, I guess that's one of the best things that comes from Campbell. I think the attendance record when I was there was just over 1,200. So my first game in Augusta with 4,000 people there, I'm like, damn, like, this is pretty cool. And I threw in Down East on a Wednesday, decent weather, and I think there's like 75 people in the stands. So it is just what you make it. I mean, you show up to the yard, you got to do it. You got a job to do. So you got to bring your own energy and create your own atmosphere for yourself. I feel like my teammates did a really good job kind of staying in it and being involved in the game, which was super nice and refreshing.
For sure. And then my last one for you before we hand it off to Jason, man, just breaking down probably my favorite segment of all of Pros and Joes and what we've been able to do on and off the bench is talking about the guys you want to pick the brain of, or the guys you've already been communicating with. We can go big names. Obviously, we could talk Strider, we could talk Acuna, we could talk whoever you want to talk about. But, who's somebody that either this upcoming season or in the near future you're excited to just learn from, observe from, or just overall play alongside with?
I'd say a couple. I'd say draft class wise, Waldrip. I was around him for a short stint at USA, and that dude carries himself so professionally and it's such a efficient manner. So just kind of seeing how he takes care of himself. Big name Strider. I mean, I feel like the Strider comparisons have been flooding in for a year and a half now since he's really made a name for himself. They're kind of just seeing how he takes care of himself and goes to his business. And then a guy I've started to get close with, Owen Murphy. He was drafted last year, and being around him and kind of talking to him, and it feels like I'm a year older than him, but it feels like he's got 5 more years of wisdom than I do just being here for a year. So kind of seeing how he takes care of his stuff is going to be really fun for me too.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. And then Jason, loving this kind of conversation. This is the conversation I want to have with you because I know the talent is there. I know the mentality is sharper than 9 out of the 10 guys in the room, and the 10th one is you, man. Like, really having that conversation right now, like, it was a struggle out the gate. Obviously, everything going on in the FCL, but I feel like that is so much better, and that is so inspiring to have that kind of start because there's something to build on. You get to see who you're going to become. You get to see what you need to work on to be the best version of you. I'm all for it. If Cade's out here throwing no hitters, that's awesome. I love it. But what I don't like is a guy in single A out here destroying, like absolutely destroying. Then the power rankings, you guys know how it goes. I talk to Jim about this all the time. Guys who fly through the rankings every single year. We love our guy, Paul Skeens. Terrified of how quick the Pirates are actually going to bring him up because I feel like you need to perfect yourself. So talk to me a little bit about what that was like for you, the early struggles, what you learned, how you adjusted, and really what it meant for you to be at this level.
Yeah, no, for sure. I got drafted. The 2 months prior to that, I was throwing like a little bit, kind of just keep myself in somewhat decent shape to if they wanted to activate me, I could do it. I didn't expect to be activated as fast as I did. I was there for about like a week and a half. I threw 2 bullpens, no live sessions, and then I was just kind of ripped in there. So that was definitely like kind of felt really sped up in that regard because the timetable was a little bit different, and then there's just some injuries and some issues at the single A level. And I needed to go up there and kind of help them out a little bit. Obviously struggled a little bit. Mostly just like a little bit of control issues, didn't feel sharp. But it's really good for me because and I was coming out of the pen too, something I've never really done. But it was really, really good for me to kind of learn all those things. Because at some point in my career, maybe I end up not being a starter, or something like that. So learning how to come out of the pen, learning how to do things like that. Some guys make their start in Major League Baseball by coming up. They get plugged into the pen late in the year. They're in there, and then all of a sudden they crack the starting rotation a year or two after, and they really start to make a name for themselves. So, look at a guy on the Yankees like Michael King. Came up kind of as a starter, didn't do so hot, got moved to the pen for a few years, and now he's going right back to the starting rotation. He's been lights out at the end of the season there. So it was really valuable to kind of learn stuff like that, like how to come out of the pen, kind of how to navigate that stuff, and to struggle too. Like I've always said this, like failure is always a learning experience. I was able to really learn that I have to kind of shift my pitch repertoire a little bit, just in how I throw to lefties and how to throw to righties, certain pitches that I throw and stuff like that. So it's hugely beneficial. And it's gonna be really nice, cracking the starting rotation next year, getting into a groove, being fully built up and ready to go and going from there. So
yeah, most definitely. A guy I want to throw the name out to, Adbert Alzolay on the Cubs. I mean, this man, I was at his first start, which was out of the bullpen, and then his first start, that was actually in the starting rotation very quickly after. Basura. I mean, that man was absolutely trash. I mean, it's just what it was. And now you're looking at him a few years later, and he is one of the top closers that we've had in recent years and one of the top closers in all of the National League. And, I always say it like this, man. I'm not going to put you in a box. I believe you can control what you can control, but a dog is a dog at the end of the day. Reliever, closer, starter, whatever it is, a dog is a dog, and you're going to be that dog no matter what it is. And, that's just something that comes with time. But, something that is never going to come with time, in my personal opinion, is just the minor league crowd. It's just not going to happen. You know what I mean? They're always I talk to Jim about it all the time. They're always in the most random of cities, the most random of towns. I mean, a town of 5, and 3 of them are the guys who are on the team. And it's just wild, man. So take me through what's that like, man? Crowds in the ACC versus crowds in the FCL. I mean, really breaking that down, like, I'm not trying to shit on any of it, but like it is such a roller coaster of emotions to, have that crowd back you up and kind of be that 10th man out there. And then, man, we got a couple drunk guys in the crowds that have, sleep in the parking lot. Like take me through it real quick.
yeah, no, I think that's the beauty of minor league baseball though, is it really separates, who really wants it and who really doesn't. Who really has the motivation inside to go be the best version of themselves, even if there isn't a bunch of people in the crowd. And try to move up the levels to get people in the crowd. So I think that's part of the beauty of it. I love playing again in big crowds, big situations. I've always been the guy for the big moment. Like that's always been my thing. But what I've learned about myself is just how to generate that without the external factors going on around you. Like how to generate that feeling of the big moment. When it's all not flying around you, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of the beauty and what you learn in minor league baseball, which I think eventually when you get to Major League Baseball and you got the huge crowds, it'll help you kind of slow it down, and kind of go the other way with it. So
for sure. Now I have one very important question to ask you before I pass it to Jim. And then I have a decent question to ask you. The important one is I see the PS5 back there. Have you downloaded Spider-Man 2?
no, I haven't.
All right, what are we doing? What are we doing here, man? New York
What are we
needs
doing
you,
with your life?
Jason. New York needs you, Jason. What are we doing, man? Come on, man. Like, it's you know what? You want the Yankees to have success, but do you want Venom terrorizing the city, man? These are the important questions that you need to ask yourself. But the one I want to ask you, man, picking the brain out of anybody in this organization, whether that's single A, double A, triple A, hey, maybe even Yadier Molina. Who knows what's going to happen? Definitely not Wilson Contreras, but that's a whole different conversation. But man, who are you excited to pick the brain of? Who do you want to spend time with sometime in the near future?
Yeah, it was really nice this year in single A to pick the brain of Pete Hansen, from Texas. He had a really, really good year in single A. At the end of the year during playoff time, got thrown off the levels a little bit. He's a really good influence, has a really good head on his shoulders. So it was really awesome to talk to him and get kind of close with him. Max Ragic, guy I've known for a while, went to UCLA. I played on Team USA 18U with him. It'd be nice to see him again. He was a couple levels up because he's been doing so well, but it'll be nice to see him at spring training, kind of pick his brain on how the Cardinal system works and what they like to see, things like that. And then from the major league level, I think Zach Thompson is a guy that I really want to see if I can connect with at all. We have some mutual things behind the scenes, like we have the same financial advisor and things like that. So it'd be cool to kind of link up with him and talk about his journey a little bit.
For sure. And really quick before I give it to Jim, Adam Wainwright starts a band of all pitchers. What instrument are you playing?
I mean, maybe some bass guitar or something like that.
All right. That's better than a triangle, man. I was hoping you didn't hit me with the triangle. I would have lost it.
Symbols.
No, I can't do that.
I mean, he said he wanted to, pick the brain of Tyler O'Neill until he started playing catch with his girl. So now he got wiped off the table. So
I would too. That's a personal shot. I'm good. Never again. Never again. You're not coming near my girl. You ain't invited to the wedding. Nothing. I'm good, bro.
But anyways, guys, we are going to do just like we did when y'all are on and off the bench. We are going to finish with the game called This or That. Y'all are familiar with how it goes. But before we do, got to plug our sponsor, Chinook Seeds, 8 flavors, mild to wild. I got to ask you right off the bat, Cade, have you had Chinook Seeds yet?
I have. I was the sponsor for him. You knew that.
I know, but I'm asking the question. You didn't have to say that because I wanted you to then say what your favorite flavor was. So now I'm asking what's your favorite flavor.
In small doses, the cinnamon toast is really good, but you can only have so many. I like the hatch chili a lot. I'm a hatch chili believer.
Yeah, no, I mean a lot of people like those. I am an original. I'm an OG type guy, but I have the cinnamon toast because that's mine. A lot of guys are saying the Parm. Ty Floyd, weirdly enough, likes the dill pickle. I don't know how anybody does. I hate to hate on any flavors that Chinook does, but just pickles. And maybe Jason says it here in a second if he's had them. Jason, have you had Chinook Seeds?
I have as well. I'm a big original and ranch guy. Those are 2 simple ones, but.
Well, and the reason I know y'all have, but I just asked the question because people wouldn't know a lot of the reasons why. Specifically, they are the official sponsor of Team USA Baseball and something in which y'all have done. And then obviously they're making the rounds. They were more out y'all's way than they are in the South with them. I'm getting them in Starkville and Oxford and Baton Rouge and all that. So trying to do that, but they were over y'all's way first. But yeah, I'm an original cinnamon toast. If I was a coffee guy, they say if you put the cinnamon toast ones in black coffee, man, it is phenomenal. So if y'all are coffee guys, try that. But they are the official sponsor of This or That, and we're going to get started. Remember, just can't say both or neither. Every question, we will start with Cade, and then we will go to Jason. PlayStation or Xbox, Cade?
Xbox.
All right, what is your favorite game?
Favorite game? I've been playing the Assassin's Creeds lately because there's nothing to do in camp after you're done. So it just gets me through the day.
Gotcha. All right, Jason, I'm assuming you're going to say PlayStation. You got one behind you, right?
I mean, it's right there. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty.
So what's your favorite game?
I'm a big MLB The Show guy. I grind that stuff. So.
Well, I got a challenge for either of y'all. Like Chase Dolander came on here last episode and said in all his spare time he plays Call of Duty, dropping bodies. Nobody can beat him. Y'all are pitchers. Y'all are competitive. Get on Call of Duty. Start practicing up. I'll set up a meet. Y'all can snipe him out.
Oh, come on. I'll take that. I'll take that all day.
There we go. All right. breakfast for breakfast or breakfast for dinner if you could only have one?
For
Okay.
breakfast. For breakfast.
Terrible answer. What's your go-to item?
Bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
All right, you won me back over with that answer. What about you,
Oh,
Jason?
don't turn your camera back on over there. I don't want to hear it from you. You turn
No,
your camera
wait,
back
no,
off.
not Cade. I
You
was
go
with you.
back to your
Wait,
hole.
no.
He's
Cade,
eating.
I
His
was
mouth
with
is
you.
full. He was eating. That's why he had his camera off.
I had a Tums. My stomach hurt, but my stomach hurt. But no, bro. Jim, did you just say that's a terrible answer? Don't ask questions then, Jim. If you don't want terrible
Breakfast for
answers.
breakfast. Look, what did the last two guests say? They said
How
breakfast.
about,
for
how about
breakfast.
no. Hey, you talking about mental health. Don't put him in a box. These are his answers, damn it.
All right.
Don't put a baby in the
I
bag.
apologize, Kate. It was
You
a
better.
phenomenal answer. You can eat breakfast whenever you want. Now,
Answer your
Jason,
question.
before I was rudely interrupted, you remember when I interrupted you last week and you called me out for rudely interrupting you with my
You
time?
remember when you called me a crackhead 25 minutes ago? But yeah,
Yeah. All right. Anyway, Jason, what do you like?
I'm a breakfast for dinner guy.
See, my guy. And what's your go-to item?
Chocolate chip pancakes.
Ooh, I like it. Mike,
Yeah.
you get down with chocolate chip pancakes?
I could dabble. I dabble in chocolate chip pancakes.
Waffle
All right.
House chocolate chip waffle. Hard to beat.
Waffles are banging, man. Eddie Murphy said it himself. Waffles, man. Come on. Can't go wrong with Murph.
All right, Cade, if you were left on an island and you were stranded there and your only option was to either be all alone or with your worst enemy, what are you doing?
Worst enemy. It's food if I need it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That is a bad answer.
That's not the first answer. Griffin Herring on the poster right there said it, and his dad texted me the next day after listening to it and said my son admitted to being a cannibal on air. So, Cade, you just bailed Griffin out. You are not the only one now.
Good.
Jason, do you want your enemy so you can eat them, or are you trying to be all alone?
No, I'll go worst enemy, but I'm not gonna eat them. I don't think I could ever resort to that.
I don't think I'm gonna eat them, but if you really need to eat them, you have the option.
I like the way this kid thinks, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's all about survival. I see. All right,
Jason's a damn lie too. I can see it in his eyes. He's got those eyes.
we're gonna
killer.
find out in the next question though, because Mike's fixing to lose his mind. Watch this, Mike. Don't say nothing through the question portion. You can only say something afterward.
I didn't want to say anything, anyways.
Cade, better Chicago baseball movie, Rookie of the Year or Hardball?
Okay,
Rookie
don't
of
fuck
the
this
year.
up. You fucked it up.
He said Rookie of the Year. Jason.
Rookie of the year.
No man. Y'all
Mike,
ever-
everybody is not picking Hardball. G baby, nobody's giving you love, bro.
All I'm saying is, bro, Cade, really quick, where you from?
Charlotte, North Carolina.
All right. Hey, Jason, where you from?
Baldwinsville, New York.
All right, bro. Then they just don't get it. All right, they ain't been in the traps of Chicago. It's different, bro. It's just a different mentality, bro. I get drunk at Sluggers every opening day, and that's where the movie was filmed. I mean, it's just what are we doing? What are we doing?
Rookie of the Year, bro. They're right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it after the podcast tonight.
Kate, I have a question. I have a, before Jim continues. I just have a quick question. Maybe it persuades you a certain way. Maybe it doesn't. What is more inspirational? A kid who accidentally breaks his arm and can now throw 105 and is desperately in the need of Tommy John by the age of 13, or just some kids in the hood trying to make it out, man? A man with a gambling addiction falls in love. He changes his life. What's better, man? What's the better story there?
I feel like you unfairly framed that question. It's about the perseverance of when your talents are taken away, you succeed in Rookie of the Year. I'm still picking the hardball, but you at least got to give it a fighting chance.
I mean, if we're gonna do that, I would frame the movie Trouble with the Curve against you, Mike, and how the Peanut Boy got
Trouble with the Curve
got picked up by the Atlanta Braves.
One of my favorite movies, bro.
Oh, we finally on the same field. I love that movie.
It is a banging
striking
movie.
out. Hey, that arrogant ass the whole time that they wasted their number one pick on. Oh,
I liked the fat kid. I like that kid a lot.
All
I
right.
used to be the peanut boy. I remember what it was like to be the peanut. I was the peanut sweeper. Jim used to clown me all the time.
All right. Own a massive yacht or a private jet, Cade?
Private jet.
What about you, Jason?
Private jet, 100%.
Lame. Massive yacht. I was a Navy guy. I like being out on the open water, but private jet will get you there ASAP, no doubt.
What Mark Cuban said.
So This is the last question. It is similar to the one y'all both got, but it's different because it's framed differently now. Y'all have been drafted and was a different element. Would you rather lose all the money you have earned this year, Cade, or lose the memories of playing baseball this year?
Lose all the money.
Oh, he didn't hesitate.
Not at
Jason,
all.
the same.
100% agree. Yeah. There's no way you lose those memories. That's worth its weight in gold.
Mike, dang.
Do I get the
he's like
memories
me.
from the night too? Does it just baseball memories or like the memories of everything because of baseball?
Well, I just framed it as baseball, but I guess they'd all be tied together. It seems like y'all already sold. Y'all aren't selling out for the money, clearly.
I mean, hopefully just make a lot more some point in the future.
We always joke. We always say we'll take the money because we got wives and kids and everything costs a lot of money. But if I was
Ooh.
y'all's age, you know,
Who's got
I'm
wife?
talking about me and Daniel when we do.
Oh,
it.
huh?
You got
Okay,
kids
hold
everywhere.
on.
You just don't know
You
yet.
know,
Them
man,
phone calls are coming. Them phone calls are coming, bro.
They're out there. They're out there. I just don't know them yet. But it's all right.
But anyways, go ahead and wrap this thing up, Mike.
Man, come on, talk to me. Y'all are still listening to this. If y'all are still here right now, we appreciate you. Definitely hit that subscribe button. Definitely leave a positive comment for Jim Cross's mental health. God knows he needs some positive Twitter comments right now, or X, whatever you want to call it. But man, we appreciate you guys being on the show today. You can find these dogs on Instagram right now. JCross2146. JCross2146. That is the only one. There is only one. There is no others. If it says anything about being 45, it's a damn lie.
Well,
It's
when
not
it comes to Instagram, you won't even find a picture of me. It's just all them. All I do is plug.
I swear to God, I haven't seen Sarah Cross in the longest. I mean, come on. But it's
hey,
okay.
she's going. Hey, guess what, man? She's going to the Ole Miss Memphis exhibition on Sunday. This will only be the third college baseball game she's went to me in the 3.5 years I've been covering it.
And you know what though? That's love, because I know she could give a damn.
Well,
But
you know what? No, you know why she's going. Key word. Where does she go to school, Mike? Where does she go back to get her master's?
Bro, I don't even know, to be honest.
Memphis, bro. That's why she's going. She's going there to root against Ole Miss.
Listen, bro, y'all talk about college and I just, boop, like it just is what it is. But you can find me at the shy.kid. You can find Jay at JSAV16 and Cade Kuehler. I mean, he clean as day. I mean, that's just what it is. But in case you got some spelling problems, it is CADEKUEHLER. Next week, we got Landon Sims and RJ Yeagerbaum. I mean, I'm excited about it, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be tremendous. Jim, do we have a day on that? I believe that's Thursday.
These guys started a trend. They want Monday too because these guys got Monday.
Sorry about it.
You cry about it, he said? Cry about it?
I said
you know
sorry
what?
about it, not cry
Oh,
about
man.
it.
I thought he
cried
said
about it when better. I thought he just threw a dagger.
I was like, coming from the mental health guru himself, told me to cry about it. I was going to lose my marbles. But nah, man, we appreciate you guys coming on today. Definitely check out Cade's mental health stuff. Definitely check them all out on social media. Check Jason out. Root for the New York Yankees because God, they need it. Mike Trout to the Yankees confirmed. Shout out to Jason for letting us know the insight. But until then, we will be back. We are in there like swimwear next week, Monday. Be there or don't. We don't care, baby, because we're going to have a good time regardless. Until then, we will check you guys out on the next one for episode 5 of Pros and Joes. Peace.